Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. Nice to have you with us on another great spring day here in Lancaster. Good to have you as a viewer today, and we talk about again so many neat things as everything is coming back. You know, for a while there, for a year and a half, it was kind of a struggle because things weren't being done, like the festivals or lots of different things weren't being done because people just weren't communicating and being together again. And then last year, kind of everything was coming back. We're really there. Well, this year, I think everything seems to be pretty much full go. So it's fun to have all these things back with us again, and we can talk about all the events. And it's always fun to have local authors with us. That's always a joy to talk about somebody that's written a book. And the next gentleman that's going to be with us spent 24 years out at Fairhope Hospice, maybe 25 years. We'll clear that up, make sure there's no problem there with that. But 25 years at Fairhope Hospice. Rick Schneider, you were the kind of the marketing, the PR, the face of Fairhope Hospice for lots of years up there. A place that you believe very strongly in, and a place that I feel very strongly in too. It's a great local place here. So retired semi-recently, a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I retired June 30th of
2021. Seems like a long time ago.
Yeah, actually I've been with Fairhope 25 years, 24 metric, so it's
okay.
Actually 25.
All right.
If you want to add them up.
You're an author of some renown.
Well,
some renown.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So you've written your second book here, and Simple Human Compassion, and this is a subject that I don't know anybody that's more well versed on it with that, because Rick would always tell you about Fairhope Hospice it was always about care of the individual. Everybody was more than a patient up at Fairhope Hospice. They were individuals, and they were treated like that, and I know that's the way you conducted yourself up there and treated everybody differently, and everybody had their own story to tell.
Well, people don't realize at the end of life, the calendar and the clock go out the window. It doesn't matter what's tomorrow, is it Christmas, it does not matter. What matters is right now, and when something would become available as a hospice volunteer, a lot of times they would put out an APB, a mass call. We need a volunteer here, or we need something there. No one dies alone, or a military pinning. We do different things. And I would, if I at all possible, clear the slate and do it. This person, I can't wait till next week. Many times we had pinnings, we'll say scheduled for tomorrow, and they call up in the afternoon. Things are getting bad. Can you come out in an hour? Yes.
Sure.
Yes, I can, and I'll worry about everything else. So. That's, it's a different way of thinking at the end of life.
So your book, Simple Human Compassion, is this a compilation? And the book is not really available. It's going to be available very soon. And just almost as we air this, it's going to become available. And you'll hear more about it, and we'll talk more about it too. But is this a compilation of just stories and moments you remember in your career?
It's a combination of my experiences and other staff members. We had what we called team, and we would gather on Tuesdays. Each nurse would talk about their patient load, and then also we would have thank you cards. And from that information, I would learn all the things. A lot of the volunteer things are my experience. I might say a volunteer or the volunteer, but I didn't want to keep saying me because all of our volunteers and everybody is involved, so I wanted to kind of spread the wealth. But yeah, all these things that you read about in the book happened in Fairfield, Perry, Athens, sometimes Hocking, of course, but sometimes Franklin, Licking, all over the place, but they're local.
So it's a compilation, and how long did it take you to kind of put this, or when did you have the idea that you're going to do another book, and how'd you come up with the subject?
Long story short, I published what was called Something More in the Town Crier. It was always on page 2, and the title came from people said, well, when the doctor said there's nothing more we can do. Well, there is something more we can do. We can keep
something
living.
Something more.
Yeah, we don't have to. So Something More was born, and Tammy Drabina, God love her, she kept saying, well, when's it coming, Rick? And she always would critique when I'd send the draft over, And so that became a regular column, and Deb Tobin down at the Logan paper, she said, can we be involved? And she wanted me to write a weekly column, if I could, longer, about hospice.
Sure.
And I could get one out about every 2 weeks. So I was writing for the Logan Daily and then Town Crier.
Different articles.
Yeah. And they kind of spread out. And then people kept saying, you ought to write a book. I said, oh yeah, I sure should. But then I got to thinking, well, it's already written. So I just took all those articles and kind of put them in a sequence, and bada bing, bada boom.
Getting some response from folks that have been able to look at it. Have any of the hospice folks up there had a chance to see any of this?
Yes, and I made sure Kristen Glazier, our president, saw it. It's amazing, and from the articles I wrote, I was talking everywhere I go, like the old car show, a church service. Somebody said, oh, I was reading something more. I love that one, and people pulled it out of their, one lady pulled it out of her purse.
Nice.
And she said, this hit me in so many ways. So anyway, it did has been getting favorable response. My first book is doing very well, and this is a continuation of that, because I don't say, nobody knows what hospice does. What do you guys do? Well, nobody knows what we do. So this is through stories, and people tend to listen to stories. A lot of times I hit them with a punchline. I wrote a story about called Where's the Other Sock? And I was a volunteer. I would do the laundry for a wife who was taking care of her husband, who was on service. She had hurt her back, so she couldn't go down and do the laundry anymore. So I'd go over, do the laundry, and on Tuesdays we'd fold clothes, and I'd talk about folding fitted sheets. She'd talk about getting the spots out, and we had a good time. But that conveyed the fact that we visit in the homes, volunteers bring back normalcy, and so I use stories to convey ideas.
Well, it's I'm surprised when you say people don't know what hospice does. I guess, kind of in my mind, it's touched so many families that I would think that almost everyone, if they haven't had it in their personal life, they know someone who's had a hospice contact. Maybe not a person, but another family member from another family they know. But I will say that regardless of how well you know what hospice does, always the stories are good.
Well, and life is good, and people don't realize that. We do anything for what people want, regardless. It doesn't make sense. Why would you give somebody a meal at the end of life because they ordered it and they received it?
They want a cheeseburger, that's the way it is.
Yeah, coming up.
Well, it's a wonderful place, and so, like you say, I think in many ways the book kind of wrote itself. Maybe it was hard to distill down so many stories that you probably have several books with stories over 24, 25 years. It would be hard to distill down to get what you think is the essence of simple human compassion.
That's the truth. I got so many notes, and a lot of these stories came from one or two sentences. In one case, Tammy Sullivan, one of our nurses, God love her, she has so many things that she has done. One of them, the thank you card said, and thank you to the nurse who slid down the wall and sat on the floor with us. Okay. And what it turned out was the woman had died at home, the family had gathered in the bedroom, and when she had passed, they called the funeral director, who said it would be a couple hours. So Tammy was there, what we call a death call. She came to assist the family. And it would be 2 hours, and she's watching everybody sit on the floor, so she sat on the floor with them. And where do you find nurses who will sit on the floor for 2 hours with the family after the person had passed?
Yeah.
So the crisis is over. And she did that, and that's what our staff at Fairhope does, and that's what I want to try to emphasize, that life is good, and people are good, and they look in here, they don't see their history. We've had homeless, we've had all sorts of people on service. Yeah. Everybody, they see in here.
Sure.
And that's what I wanted to convey, that life is good, Fairhope is good, hospice is good. Although I'd rather, I tell people I want to live forever, and so far so good. I'm getting there.
My money's on you.
Yeah.
Simple Human Compassion is the book, and again, it's not quite ready, but do you have any idea where it will be available, when it becomes available?
Yeah, it'll be at the Book Exchange in town here. I know that in Lancaster. Okay. It'll also be on Amazon. On the other book showed up in Barnes & Noble. About anywhere you can get a book, it will be available. And the subtitle is, it's Simple Human Compassion, the End of Life Craves Touch, Not Technology. And that sums up hospice. We are touch. We're not tubes and everything else. But yeah, it will be available if you just clickety-click Simple Human Compassion on the internet. it'll show up.
And they have technology, believe me, out there it's state of the art, but that at the end, that's not really what it's all about.
Out the window.
Sure.
Yeah, it's human touch.
Rick Schneider with us, Simple Human Compassion, a new book that will be available. We'll be telling you about where it's available here. Shane will get some shots of that cover. It's a beautiful book. Got you on the back, perhaps where appropriate.
Thank you. Do I look
Yes,
okay?
okay.
And, it was done by Alyssa Bardicat. Everything was local.
Okay.
So,
Very good. Well, good luck with this. It's a great compilation of stories. A great place up there. Is a legendary place up there at Fairhope Hospice. So many good stories, and I'm sure you've told many of them and the appropriate ones. So good luck with the book.
thank you very much,
Sure,
Paul. Enjoyed
sure.
being on.
Okay, always a pleasure to have Rick Schneider with us on Fairfield Today. We'll be back.
The Lancaster Festival returns for its 38th season, July 21st through the 30th. This year, we proudly present Rick Springfield on July 23rd and Lady A on July 30th. Reserve seating and general admission tickets are available at lancasterfestival.org, by phone at 740-687-4808, or at the box office located at 117 West Wheeling Street in Lancaster. For the full lineup, visit lancasterfestival.org.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously, and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the high school football game of the week. I'm Jared Stewart alongside Tim Shoemaker. Tonight, we've got a great one for you. The Blue Carroll Bulldogs.
We had a great week of practice. Even in the rain and the weather, we had a great week of practice.
Schneider, lots of running room to midfield. He's gone. Ron Schneider down the near sideline for a touchdown for the Aces.
We have a hold on the offense, number 20. That penalty will be declined. They'll bring up fourth down.
We're going to give you this game ball here because you're a Tiberios fan of the game. And thanks for being here, Jacob.
Thank you. The Polar Bears are your OAC tournament champions. First time since 2009. What an exciting finish for the Ohio Northern Polar Bears.
Very proud of this trophy because you've earned it.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Fairfield Medical goes the extra mile to give attention to their patients, to their guests, anybody that comes within those doors.
There's no question that the staff there were all personally invested in seeing that I got the best care possible.
The staff was so comforting. I felt like she was in the best hands.
They basically gave me a second chance at life, and I'm going to make the most of it.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Fairfield Today. Pleasure to have you with us. Kind of an upbeat, fun thing to have on the show today, and it's always enjoyable to do local people when they do local things that make national attention, and that's the case with this segment right here with the video that we'll show you in a few minutes here on a pretty cool video that a young man made here in Lancaster, and we'll talk about that. But my guests here on my far right are Delainey McIlwain. Delainey is the Community Relations Coordinator for Park National Bank, just down the street a block or so. And right next to me is Brodie Bosworth. Brodie is a senior at Lancaster High School. And I guess it's all about the video you made, Brodie.
Yeah.
I mean, 30 seconds has, in many ways, I guess, maybe, could you say changed your life? I mean, it's certainly, immediately it has changed your life.
Yeah, it definitely set me ahead, you know, because I was looking forward to getting a car at the end of the summer and saving up for that.
It's going to help.
Yeah, it put me ahead a lot.
Well, Delainey, let's talk about this. Park National, I know Park National and you are very involved in this. I've been doing this a decade about making a video with young people and the tie-in with banking and how young people get involved in making smart financial decisions.
Yep. So this contest is through the American Bankers Association.
Okay.
We've been participating for 10 years now, and it really provides a platform for local youth to really learn about financial literacy, but kind of use their talents to put that in a little 30-second segment. So 10 years, and we've been working with our local youth, local schools ever since.
And the name of this video is Money Tree.
Yeah.
Money Tree, and we'll show it in just a moment, but a little background, how did you come up? I guess you were tasked then, if you entered this contest with Park National and Delainey, you were tasked with making a video with those parameters, and how did you get in your mind, what would be your premise?
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of just popped, wow. It actually came in my head while I was being told about the assignment.
Really?
I was just thinking in my head, what can I do? And then I saw, the phrase money doesn't grow on trees. That was just in my head. So I was like, how can I make this work into a video? And then later on I figured out, why don't I go out to Rising Park and start taping money on trees and
money actually did grow on trees.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty cool video. So I tell you what, if it's okay, we'll show that video right now. This is the award-winning video, and we'll talk about that and what that means, what the award-winning aspect of it is in a moment. But this is Brodie Bosworth and the award-winning video he made for the American Banking Association, and Park National Bank kind of behind that and helped it here locally. So this is Brodie Bosworth video, Money Tree.
Money doesn't grow on trees, but it can grow. When you watch what you spend and save money to your bank account, you can see this turn to this. You'll never know what you might need, but with smart banking, you won't have to worry.
So a pretty cool video, and as he says it just popped into his head, that's amazing to come up with that concept of money growing on trees, and there you are in the Rising Park and doing that. Yeah. I mean, how long did it take you to do a 30-second video?
It was more than 30 seconds, I can tell you that. So part of it was pre-production, coming up with the idea, what I wanted to do.
Sure.
So that probably took a day, maybe 2 hours. And then, I had to go out film. So that took multiple days, just getting all the shots and all that, figuring out, when I could do it. Because, it kept raining over and over again, so I had to find a day it wasn't raining and stuff
Good luck with that.
I
in
know.
The spring in Ohio.
Yeah. And then I just had to edit it, which that took probably the longest time. Just making sure everything was perfect.
It's a great looking Brodie Bosworth from Lancaster High School Senior. That was his video. Delainey McIlwain from Park National Bank. When you saw this video, and you've done this for a while, you've seen some videos, did you have an idea that this was going to be an award? Did it look that much better?
Yeah, so
really?
we've been doing it for 10 years, and we've kind of seen like how these students have kind of evolved in their talents. And when we saw Brodie's video, it's hard to get a lot of good financial literacy content into 30 seconds.
Sure.
But his message was clear. It had a lot of good content, and we knew it was a good video when we saw it. We knew it had some great potential.
So you get what, half a dozen videos? I don't know how many you had locally here. Half a dozen videos. From that you picked one.
Yep.
And that was Money Tree. So then what's the next step, and how did it move up the chain?
Yep, so then we submit it to the American Bankers Association. They start their contest by doing a Instagram, like they do, what's it called, like a bracket.
A poll.
Like a bracket, a poll. So the whole nation can vote through their Instagram page. And then there's 3 different segments that the videos have to make it through. The final segment is judged by a judging panel with American Bankers Association.
Sure.
So the top videos they kind of take a look at, and they have different parameters.
And with them, it's all about content. I mean, it's all about has this fulfilled what the mission of this is, and apparently this was it.
Yep.
And the grand prize for you, Brodie, was
$5,000.
5,000. That's 3 zeros after the 5. That's a pretty good deal for 30 seconds, man.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's something. Now, is this something you're interested in? Is it video and that kind of thing? Is that something that's kind of up your alley?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been something I've been interested in. You know, as a child, I'd make videos, post them on YouTube. So, and for the future, you know, I guess I'll just see where
could be a social influencer or something like
that.
So Delainey, back to local. Have you ever had anybody close to getting this kind of recognition locally before?
So we had one other time last year. We had a student that got second place nationally, and we thought that was a pretty big deal.
And
because,
it was.
Yeah.
And it was.
Again, you're going up against 90 to 100 banks, different students. So it was a pretty big deal to get second place, and this year when we saw Brodie's video, we were like, this is good.
So in 2 years you had a runner-up and then a champion in 2 years. That's pretty amazing. So wow, congratulations on it. And again, it's a phenomenally, I think what I like about it is just so simple. It just makes perfect sense, the Money Tree. I can see why you got the idea, and it just probably once you had that idea, the rest just kind of came.
Yeah, it just flowed through.
Nice. Well, that's pretty amazing. And I want to give some credit out there to Mr. Burke out of Lancaster High School. I know he's been a big influence.
Yeah, he definitely has. I mean, most of the stuff I learned, in that video was from him. I mean, the whole thing was a learning process, but he was definitely the one who got me through all that. So.
Now, you're a senior at Lancaster High School. Do you have any, and this is a time where you'd certainly be thinking about what's next. Do you have any aspirations beyond this?
Yeah, I mean, for video, I'm really just not sure yet.
Sure.
I like that. It's a passion of mine. So yeah, I guess we'll just see.
Got any college anybody you'd like?
For colleges, I'm still not sure. Yeah, I'm still looking.
Plenty of time. That's a thing about 17 years old or 17. You've got a lot of time to look at that. So good luck with that. And Park National, I mean, they've got to be just over the moon in terms of this has gone so well here. So can he enter again next year, or is now he out of it because he's so good?
He can do it again.
Wow.
And we've kind of talked about, you got to kind of step it up a notch because it was good this year.
That's going to be tough to raise the bar from this.
Because they might be looking for, new, fresh content, so I might have to go even harder than I did last year.
Does the ABA, do they change the mission or what they expect the video? Do they change any of that, or is it pretty much always the same?
It's pretty much always the same. It started with a little bit longer of a video. I think it was about 60 seconds. And
That'd be
cut
a long
it down.
time.
Yeah. So to get that amount of content in 30 seconds is pretty challenging.
And how many videos of the ones that were against him, how many were you able to see? Many of them?
Yeah, we were able to see all of them.
Oh, okay.
So you start out by watching all of the videos and kind of voting to see which ones progress. So.
Nice. So this is from all over the country. This is genuinely a big time award. I mean, that's this is a big deal. So it's just terrific. Thanks to Park National for coming up or for being involved in this for the last decade and doing this. And you just have to be through the moon too, thinking about how cool this was. What was when you heard about it? What was your first thought
about the my winnings? I mean, I was like, I couldn't believe it at first. Really, like it didn't really hit me at first. I was just like, wow, like. Because it was just a build-up. Everything was build-up. You know, I'd win the local, and then I'd win each bracket, and it was like once I got it, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then I just had to wait and actually see the money, and that's when it really hit me.
Did Delainey when everybody, the 69 places that started out like you, did they all start out with half a dozen videos? Did everybody kind of have the same criteria?
Yep, so you get a judging packet.
Yeah.
You have to have a local judging panel.
Mm-hmm.
There's different criteria that they have to meet, and if they don't meet it, the video can't progress.
Sure.
So, everyone gets the same judging criteria, and
so it was a big pool of people that you really pulled this out, man.
Yeah, I didn't even realize the number until they told me afterwards. I was like, wow.
I bet your parents are just pretty proud of their boy.
Nah, actually, a story. My dad, before the contest, he said he'd match me up to $10,000 for a car if I earned it by the end of the summer.
Oh,
and,
be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, he didn't realize I won the contest.
And I'm sure you shared that with him after he made the bet.
Yeah, I was like, don't forget it.
Well, congratulations, Brodie Bosworth, on doing a wonderful job, and it's just a super video, and that's on YouTube. Anybody can see that now?
Yeah, it's on YouTube, Instagram. It's pretty much everywhere.
And thanks again to Park National, Delainey, for their involvement here and just allowing this all to happen. It's so great to have a local guy win it like this. This is very cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We're very proud of Brodie.
Sure, I think Delainey McIlwain from Park National and Brodie Bosworth, now a senior at Lancaster High School. Best of luck as you move on. Thank you, Delainey, for bringing it to our attention and getting it here. We love this. Just a great story. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
It's a hometown bank. It's located here in Fairfield County. Branches are convenient. They're located here in Pickerington, where my office is. I'm in Lancaster a lot, and they have plenty of branches there. And I much prefer dealing with the hometown banks rather than the larger nationwide chain banks.
So far, everybody's been so personable, and for us to bank with the local bank, and we bank in Lancaster, it's been so wonderful because we'll call somebody, Steve will call somebody, and they'll get back to us right away, or they'll say, okay, we're going to make a decision in the basement tomorrow, and they'll get back to us, rather than calling a bigger bank where we had to wait and we didn't always get the same person the next time we called for a investment banking opportunity, or getting something appraised, any of those kind of things.
Everybody is very customer friendly. A lot of times I'll bring my dog Bear with me, and the staff love him here, and of course he loves them and the treats that he gets. So it's just a nice kind of a family type environment.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.